Vic Schaefer and Deanna Gaston. And Coach Schaefer, when you're ready, if you'd like to offer an opening statement.
Yes, ma'am. Thank you. Okay, I'm ready. Well, what is that number? 25? Yep. Well, we're going to give God the glory for number 25 and just, really want to, first of all, congratulate Oklahoma State on an unbelievable or an incredible season. Not unbelievable, but an incredible season. Coach has done a great job with that group. They've given us 3 very, very tough games, and they're gonna be. There won't be anybody lining up excited about playing them in the NCAA tournament. I can tell you, they've got great players. They play extremely hard. Her and her staff do a great job, and we have tremendous respect and admiration for them, and wish them the very, very best. I was very concerned about them in this game because we've had 2 knockdown dragouts with them this season already. And again, they're certainly well coached and disciplined, have great point guards play. As I said yesterday, her point guard came with her from UMKC, and that kid has had a great year. She's an all-conference player, and thought they just got better as the year went on, and that's what good teams do. So that being said, I'm so proud of my kids. I thought they played their guts out today. I thought they played with tremendous passion, tremendous heart. We call it Texas fight, but I just thought they were just really, really special in regards to how hard they played. We could easily have Shea Holly up here, who was 5 out of 9 and had 13 points and played really, really well, had 4 assists, defended well, but just thought our kids were really, really tough today. And you have to be in this tournament. It's about toughness. It's about resilience and being competitive. We talked about the 3 C's, and competitive is one of them. And you have to have that. You have to have that mindset of being competitive and being humble. Just humbling yourselves and one game's over, moving on to the next, realizing that everybody's coming for us. Everybody's coming for Texas. We get everybody's best shot. They have 18 rival games in this league every year. And so we've kind of built up a little bit of an understanding of that maybe. And I don't ever like letting my guard down thinking that they figured it out, because I usually get slapped when that happens. But they really played much different today from the jump, and I'm again, really, really proud of them. And now it becomes another 24-hour turnaround, and tomorrow will be about the same thing, about how tough are we, how focused can we be, and again, thought we were really special today.
We will now take questions for our student athletes. If you'd raise your hand, Johnny will bring you a microphone.
Sure.
Please state your name, your affiliation, and to which student athlete your question is directed.
Chip Brown with Horns 24/7. For Shaylee, just Vic was talking yesterday about the sleepy team loses these early games. Y'all came out super sharp today. Can you just talk about the mindset and what the difference was today?
Yeah, I don't want to hear about letting you sleep in and no shoot around.
Well, we didn't even sleep in. Well, no, it's fine. Yeah, I mean, he definitely harped on that yesterday, and we knew we had dinner, and then after we had film, and we watched a lot of film on Oklahoma State, and we were just really locked in. We were getting focused, and I feel like that really helped us prepare for this morning.
Danny Davis, Austin American Statesman. Shaylee, first off, have you had a chance to talk to your family yet, or have you seen the video of your dad at halftime?
They told me he won a lot of money, apparently. That's all I know, though.
Coming off yesterday, how did you kind of go over your performance mentally, and were you thinking at all about that today, or is it just one of those shoot and you move on to the next?
Yeah, definitely. Obviously, yesterday was not my day, and I knew I needed to pick it up, and I needed to focus and have a better game and better day, and I feel like I definitely did that. It was just a chip on my shoulder, and it's all mentally. I was more focused and ready for the game.
Stay with Shaylee. This is obviously, moments like this are, I'm assuming, kind of why you decided to come to Texas. So what is your reaction to, gearing up for the postseason and kind of what you guys have been able to accomplish so far?
Mm-hmm. I mean, right now what we're doing as a team is something super special, and I feel like it just proves how much hard work we put in every single day, every single practice, every single lift. And I feel like this team, we're really close on and off the court, and I feel like that definitely helps. And, we're super excited for tomorrow's game, and hopefully we come out with a win.
And obviously, Rory and Deanna, you all know what it takes to win a championship here. What is it going to take tomorrow to beat whoever you all have to beat?
Just coming ready to play and sticking to the game plan is usually our few things. And then, of course, taking care of the ball and understanding that we made it this far. And so we just need to lock in and understand that we didn't go through a lot of the stuff that we went through this past season and during the conference and preseason and even the summer, just to let this go, and we'll be ready.
Yeah, Coach talked to us about toughness at the end of the game, and so he told us that we're gonna need that tomorrow. So I think toughness is what it's gonna take to win a Big 12 championship.
Any other questions for our student athletes?
Rory, the three-pointer you hit near the end of the shot clock, you guys just seem to have an answer for everything today. And I guess for Deanna, how tough you were inside with the answers. Can you guys just talk about, no matter what they were throwing at you, I think they hit 8 threes, you guys just kept answering?
We just, every time they scored, we just kind of stayed composed. We didn't really worried about if we were going to lose or not. It was just that we stayed composed, and we knew we had to be tougher than them because they're a tough team to play against. So I think that's what we did this game. We were just a tougher team.
Yeah, what she said, just staying composed. Games like this and playing against teams like OSU, it's always going to be ups and downs and highs and lows. Somebody's going to take the lead 1 second, and the other second we'll have the lead. I guess to answer your question about the three-pointer, it was I don't know how many seconds left, 2. So I just let it go. There's no point in thinking about it. So.
Next question, right side, third row.
My name is Ben Hutchins. I'm with the Ocali, and I have a question for Rory. You were able to turn over OSU's guards 14 times today, but you scored 21 points off of those turnovers. What helped you guys be so effective capitalizing on those?
That's one of the things that we do focus on here. We like to run the floor a lot, so if we get a turnover, we need to run. There's no point in waiting in the paint, no point in the guards waiting in the paint, realizing that we already got the rebound. It happened a few times with Shaylee. She's already out there, and after we turn them over, and those are the points that we need. I guess it was 21-7, and so those are the points that make a difference in the game sometimes.
Danny.
Shaylee, but going back to your dad, I know him and your mom played ball. How much did they kind of teach you about the sport, and how would you grade your dad as a shooter?
Yeah, so my parents, they both played at Grand Canyon University, and that's where they met. And then their coaches, my mom was my high school coach, and my dad was my club coach ever since I was 10. So I've learned a lot from them, coach's kid, and I feel like they've definitely, have put the love in the game for me, and I owe them a lot, and they've taught me a lot. So super grateful for them. No.
Any other questions? Ladies, thank you. You're free to return to the locker room and your teammates.
Thank you.
Questions now for Coach Schaefer. Danny?
Vic, you had to get a little creative there in the, end of the second quarter, in the second half with Shaylee's foul trouble. How did you kind of rework your lineup and, survive that?
Yeah, we played Jock initially, and then I went to a little bit bigger lineup because that's really our better defensive lineup. Amina just allows us to. She's really special. She's going to be somebody that down the line can really help us. It's kind of that 3-4 defender, and yet she can guard a 1. And when you're guarding them, they've got 4 guards in the lineup a lot, so it allows us to switch and do some things with her. She can guard a point guard as easy as a 4 player. So, I just tried to get through it the best I could. I think we isolated D a couple times and got away with it and, until they could figure that out. And so, you just try to ham and egg it, really, trying to buy some time. And, I told her when she had her 3, I was reluctant to start her in the second half, but I did. She's got to play smart, and I thought she did. And we think we got by with, 5 minutes there in the fourth quarter before I could get her back in with 4-something to go. So, I was glad to see her be able to finish it out. And kid plays really hard, Danny. We talk about her offense and what she averaged before she got here and all that, but the kids really learned to embrace defending like we defend. And, you got to really admire somebody like that who's never been through practices like we go through, and especially the intensity and the focus that we try to defend with. So, that kid, you got to give her credit, man. She's really bought into how we do things at Texas.
Vic, I guess it is your day when one of your players' parents hits a half-court shot for some cash, but it sounds like you did let him sleep in and no shoot-around this morning.
Yeah, that was, it was kind of a late-night hour decision, but and I don't do it often, but just felt like the extra 45 minutes to an hour sleep might have been more important than getting in the gym and shooting for 30 minutes. It also sends a message too, I think, Chip. You're kind of telling your kids, hey, I know we didn't shoot it well, but it's going to be okay. And we came over early. And so we came over at 10:30 and we got up shots for about 25 minutes. And so we were only going to get 30 minutes in the arena anyway this morning. So we just came over early and got that 30 minutes in prior to our actual warm-up. And I think they got comfortable at that moment, and plus, it just kind of helps you get rid of that breakfast that you eat and everything else, So I always, I've talked to our kids all the time about that. I always played hungry. Like you see what we feed these kids. I mean, I don't know how they move, and so I thought it would be best to let them sleep an extra hour. We came down, went through the scout. We actually went over our men's area as a court on the floor in the ballroom. And so Rory got a couple of dunks in, and we walked through some defensive stuff, and really appreciate Coach Terry letting us get in there and borrowing that this morning. And, that's what a great teammate does, right? So wishing them the best tonight. I know they're going to be great tonight. I'm excited to see them play, but really appreciate them letting us in there.
Third row, left side.
Vic, Davis Cordova with the O'Colly. You've played OSU 3 times, and the first time they scored 86, second time they scored 69, and today they scored 57. What have you been able to figure out through each of the three matchups about their offense and how to stop them?
Well, they're just really hard to guard. I think that first game we played them, I mean, I don't think either coach was real happy about our defense. I think it was 86-82, and man, it was a nightmare for a defensive guy, I can tell you. But I just think, just like them, we all watch film and we all figure out ways to try to minimize certain things and strengths that people do, and they certainly do some things very, very well. And it starts with their point guard. I mean, she's so special and such a tough, competitive kid, and plays with a presence. There's lots of really good players, but the great ones have a presence. And I just think her, I think Keys, I just think those kids have a presence on the floor. Like Keys doesn't get a lot of credit. Man, you can't take your eye off that kid. You talk about a competitor. Is she finally going to graduate? Because she seems like she's been there forever. And you're shaking your head. It sounds like she's going to be there and ever. Yeah, so, I mean, she's a tremendous competitor. And so she's kind of, in my mind, she's kind of the glue with that group. She doesn't hurt them. You don't guard her. She buries you. She kills you. She plays hard defensively. I mean, so I just, I think if I'm doing my job, look, I can't give up 86 a night. There'll be somebody else up here, I promise you.
Second row, right side.
Yeah, this is more of a big picture kind of question, but y'all are on the verge of winning, Big 12 tournament, Big 12 regular season champion, first time in decades. Y'all never won back-to-back tournament. Why has this group been so special and making things happen that haven't been done ever in decades?
It's an interesting question. I just think, and I don't know how much you know about my team, but it's we've just had a lot of things thrown at us this year. In this, again, we talk to kids all the time about, it's not about the event. It's about how you respond when you have, things come up that are not good. And so we constantly talk about our response. And those are life lessons too, right? I mean, things happen in life, and it's not about the event. It's how you respond to that event. I've learned that as a dad and as a father with my own son. When he was hurt, it's how you respond in that event. And so with our kids, with the injuries we've had and the setbacks, and then going through this gauntlet of a year that we've had with our season, I just think they've grown. It's growth, it's maturity, it's developing a little bit of toughness and a callous to it, and, control what you can control. I'm constantly preaching that. Look, I can't sit around and worry about the things I can't control. Well, you have to learn that as a coach, both with your team and outside of your team sometimes. And so I think with this group, I'm real big on accountability. Good, bad, or indifferent, I'm going to speak my mind to them, and they know that, and I think they appreciate that. And, I had a little bit of a conversation with them this morning, and just letting them know. I just think there's an accountability piece, and there's not enough time to get into worldly things, but it's just kind of who I am and the way we try to do things. We try to be accountable, and I'm not a big excuse guy. Nobody cares. Nobody cares what the excuses are. Who cares? The people 90 miles down the highway are my opponents. That's who cares. That's the only people that care about my excuses. And they just don't matter. At the end of the day, they just don't matter. Our job is to do the best we can and to get the job done. And that's it. So I think with this team, they've heard that from me enough. And so I'm just not interested in excuses, and I know that they know that I try to be accountable as our coach as well. And so I don't know if that answers your question completely, but I mean that's kind of how we try to approach things at Texas in women's basketball.
Do you make them hunker down in their hotel rooms tonight? Are they going to be allowed to go watch the men? At 5, how do they kind of handle tonight?
Yeah, I think I think that we'll have some want to stay and watch the next game here, and I'm not sure what time that game is, 2:30 maybe, and then quite frankly we'll probably go back and we'll all be together and we'll have dinner together, we'll watch film, and I'm sure that we'll watch our guys play. I mean, I always like it when my team watches basketball. And sometimes it's hard to get them all together to watch basketball. So there's no question our group will be together, and we'll try to support those guys the best we can. But we've obviously got to get ready for a big game of our own tomorrow. And I really want them to try to do the best they can to get some rest. And then my job is to get them refocused. And again, y'all, it's another opportunity. And these you don't take them for granted. And when you're done it as long as I have, you learn that early. You never know when these opportunities are going to happen. I think they're going to happen every year, but there's no promise. There's no guarantee. So you want them to really embrace being a pro right now. From today until we finish tomorrow, it's about us being a pro, taking care of ourselves, getting focused, doing our homework, our scouting reports, eating right, rehydrating, all that.
Chip, last question.
Vic, I know can you kind of give us a little bit of a scouting report on either OU or Iowa State?
Yeah, they can all shoot it. Yeah, it doesn't matter what number you're looking at, pretty much they can all shoot it. So, we've had a double dose of both of them, and as I told them after the game, I think we've been down this road with both those teams. We know how super competitive they are. We know how well coached they are. Part of the toughness piece tomorrow is going to be the mental piece. Understanding what number you're looking at and what they can do and what they can't do, and being able to handle that. And so, but it's a real easy scouting report in my mind. They can all shoot it, and you better get out there and try to, take that away, because that's what they do, and that's what that crowd today for both teams is going to be real loud when somebody makes a three, And our team, our crowd, we get loud for different things, right? And but for those two teams, they get really loud when somebody makes a three. So we're going to try to maybe not let them make too many threes. I'm sure they're going to make a few. We let them make some today, and we were really focused on trying not to do that as well. So we're excited about the opportunity. We have tremendous respect and admiration for both those teams and those staffs, and we're excited about the opportunity to do it again. So.
Coach Schaefer, thank you. Congratulations.
Thank you. Appreciate everybody being here today and for your coverage of women's basketball. Praise the Lord and hook 'em horns.